All right, welcome back to Vegas Unwrapped, a cashless episode, like the rest of my life being cashless. Yeah. Why should the radio show be any different? Yeah. Anyway, you're listening to Vegas Unwrapped along the VegasAllNetRadio.com network or on the downloadable app. If you don't have the app, just go to the Play Store or your whatever store you need to, depending upon your phone. Enter Vegas All Net Radio or VANR. Download the app and take us with you no matter where you are. You don't need to be tied to your computer to hear our show. Visit VegasUnwrapped.net for archives and YouTube videos. Anything that you've missed, we will fill you in. Now, if this just doesn't paint a picture of the beach scene of the guys running along the beach on Chariots of Fire. Our guest here in the Vegas Unwrapped Business Spotlight Hot Seat is owner, Multi-Moving Fitness, Mr. Jeff Carstensen joins us at the mic. How are you, Jeff?
Thanks for having me.
All right, as soon as the engineer pushes the button, we'll hear you. Right. Try that again. Hi, Jeff.
Hi. How's it going?
Welcome to Vegas Unwrapped.
Thank you much.
So when you started this, did you hear music like that and said, I'm going to start running because of Chariots of Fire?
Exactly.
There you go. Exactly. Just that beach scene, right? I don't know. I would have made a left turn and landed in the water pretty quickly myself. So anyway, Jeff, thank you for coming in tonight. We appreciate it. So tell us a little bit about the company, Multi-Moving Fitness, and tell us how you kind of got started in it. I mean, you're a pretty young, fit guy here, and how did you get started in it?
Well, I did 5 years in the Air Force, and while I was in the Air Force, I found out the failure rate for the physical fitness test was at 14%.
Really?
So I had a lot of friends I couldn't even pass the 1.5 mile run.
Wow.
In the military ranks, so I knew if it was that big of a problem in the military,
what would it be like in real life?
Yeah.
Right?
14% passing rate. Yeah.
Wow.
Failure rate, but yeah.
No. Failure rate in the military, but 14% passing in
right.
Civilian life.
Right. 86 out of 100 people can't run to the bathroom if they had to right now. So that kind of was your inspiration, realizing that there was probably a market out there needing some help.
Yes, and I actually I got into triathlon as a way to get in shape before heading off to basic training.
Okay.
So.
Well, why the triathlon? Why did you focus on that to help you get into shape? What made that special in terms of getting the results that you wanted to versus other methods of getting into shape that most people would do?
I was I swam competitively in high school, and I always rode my bike growing up. So. Okay. I had 2 of the 3 sports, and running's the last one that I hate, but you ask anyone, and running's always the worst one.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Why is that? Why do you think most people don't like running?
I think a lot of it is it's just hard to start out without getting injured.
Okay.
It's you always end up having a knee issue, or you get plantar fasciitis,
right.
And the next thing you know, your doctor's telling you
stop running.
Yeah, well, you can't run for 4 to 6 weeks now.
Oh, great. What if a bear chases you? I mean, you got to run sometime. I mean, yeah. Wow. No, I could see that. I mean, when I played football back in high school, I hated running laps. I hated all of that stuff. And the pounding that I took on my knees, you're right. The knees are probably the worst part of the body that takes a lot of the pain of running. I mean, in terms of any other part of your body.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. The joy is that it's the most impact sport almost out of the 3 disciplines. So it's just having the knowledge to start out in a sensible way, so you don't have that injury and you don't lose that motivation to start running.
And we'll talk about that because, really any type of exercise that you do, there's a right way and a wrong way to do it. And the right way is to do it safely and smartly so you don't hurt yourself and you can continue to do it. We'll talk about that more in detail in a few minutes. So you decided to focus more on the triathlon specific in terms of training because of your own experience.
Exactly.
Okay. How common is it that people want to actually get involved in triathlons?
It's actually a growing sport.
Really?
It's actually just last year it became a emerging sport for the NCAA, the girls side. They're doing some test runs with it. So this is the second year for that. And with it becoming an Olympic sport back in 2000, there's more and more exposure, and we're getting more and more top American triathletes in the pipeline now, winning at the international level. We actually had Gwen Jorgensen. She's American from Wisconsin, and she actually won the International Triathlon Union. She won the World Cup last year, and
Wow.
was the first American to do it. And going off the whole insanity thing, they started Gwensanity. And so it's just great to see that exposure, and you have 13 and 14-year-olds getting
Sure.
into the sport, just like cross country and just like track and that. So it's going to be really great come the 2020 Olympics and 2016 here as they're getting ready to go into the qualifying stages.
Wow, that's right. 2016, a year away, and this is the next set of Olympics coming up. Holy shnikes! I remember watching the triathlons growing up. Watching the Wide World of Sports, always used to cover it when they had it in Hawaii, right? I mean, now we don't have any triathlons here. Well, obviously, we don't have the body of water. I don't know if you want to consider Lake Mead a body of water to go do the swimming portion, but they don't have any here in Vegas, do they?
Oh, we actually for a couple of years, we actually had the Ironman 70.3 World Championships in Vegas. They did it out in Lake Las Vegas for the swim, and went through Henderson, through the district area over by Green Valley. And that.
Okay.
And we still have an Ironman event. It's Ironman Silverman. That's in October of this year that they do out in Henderson area.
You're going to participate in that?
Unfortunately, I'm not participating. not there. I'm going to be in Palm Springs about a couple weeks later doing 70.3.
Okay.
Little bit flatter course, a little easier to do.
No hills. Hate hills. Well, Vegas is flat, isn't it? I mean, come on.
Oh, coming out of Lake Mead into Henderson is not.
No, I know. Down, what is it, Lake Mead Drive or whatever it is? Yeah, that's up and down. You need a pulley cart for that one. So talk about how the sport here in Vegas is growing and the type of clients that you actually work with. I mean, what separates you and your training methodology for people to prepare for triathlons with you versus someone else who's training people?
I like making it fun, so of course we're focusing on swimming, biking, and running, but we're also just for strength training and that and different stuff. We'll have a day where we'll go out to the park and we'll just run sprints, or we'll play dodgeball or something.
You lost me at sprints, but you got me back on dodgeball.
Yeah.
Sprints and fun, I'm not sure they're in the same sentence, but how far are the sprints? How many yards?
Oh, we do a few killers every now and then, back and forth.
You don't make them do burpees, do you?
I hate burpees, so.
Good, okay.
But burpees is one of those exercises that everyone loves to do, but you
don't want to do them?
No,
you don't. If you don't know what a burpee is, just look it up on Google. It's a 3-step exercise going up and down and stretching. I mean, it's nasty. I hated them in football. God, especially in the mud. I hated doing them in the mud. Anyway, so all right, so you tried to. Now your sessions are what, 1 hour long to train folks?
Yes, 1 hour long.
Okay, and you don't do it in the studio like you said. You go outside somewhere. You use Las Vegas as your training facility.
Yeah, I like getting outside, especially with Vegas having really only 2 months that are hot. We have to get out in the morning, but
right.
340 to 350 days of sun out here. There's no reason not to be out training outside, sure. and it takes away that takes away a lot of the hesitation of going into the gym, right. and having the meatheads look you over like, what are you doing
here?
Exactly.
We want to pump you up. So I got to imagine, your students like that better, which you just touched on, because it gives them a little different take on working out in their own comfortable environment with others like themselves. Exactly.
And the other great thing is I do all either one-on-one or semi-private, so it's never more than a group of 4.
Mm-hmm.
So that way it's the individual attention where I can still make those suggestions if they need to change something form or technique wise.
Right.
I'm able to give that attention.
Sure.
Versus other classes where there'll be 25 people to one instructor.
Right. So you've set it up so you can really devote that one-on-one attention no matter what.
Exactly.
Which I think is important, whether it's the beginner or the professional, to know that they have their support more than in a one-on-one scenario. I think it's a great way to set it up. So let's walk us through, before we go to our bottom of the hour break, walk us through what a typical session would be like. If I were to get out there with you, what would a session be like for a guy like me who's severely out of shape? Walk us through a session.
Well, first off, we would figure out what your goals are, and I work with
surviving the session would be my goal, Jeff.
Living through it. Yeah.
Living through it.
But the biggest thing is I program everything customized to everyone's ability level.
Okay.
So that's the great part is I have a lot of different tools and different exercises where we can tone it down to meet that ability and still push you enough that you're going to get something out of it.
Sure.
But I like using a lot of body weight stuff, a lot of the TRX suspension training.
Okay.
And that's just kind of, you throw it over a monkey bar or something, and you're able to do everything in the gym.
Okay.
With the straps. And, and then
so it's like tension exercise, resistance exercise.
Yeah, it's resistance and body weight. So using gravity and that way we're not loading up any joints.
I didn't realize there'd be any benefit to my 339-pound frame to exercise with. Man, I'd be deadlifting myself. Man, that could be my own world record.
Gravity is not your friend.
No, that's why I like swimming. There's no gravity. Anyway, go ahead. So what would be next? So we would tailor a program.
Yes.
Okay. And then what?
And then I typically like meeting with most clients 2 to 3 times a week, just because if I'm only seeing you once a week, it's hard to get the results that a lot of them want.
And it's a better level of accountability too.
Yeah, exactly. So, like I said, we just kind of make it custom, and we make it so, like, if someone says, "Well, I don't want to do burpees," okay, well, we can start doing
something else.
Yeah, we can always make it to where I'm not sitting there with a drill sergeant hat and the whistle, like up, down, left.
You had to get home. You had to get home when you left. Oh God, I remember that from gym class. Jeez. My goodness, Mr. San Giovanni. Oh my God, how these names from elementary school come back to you? Anyway, you just hit a nerve. That's why when you said drill sergeant. All right, so you work the pattern, you work within the person's guidelines and their abilities, really.
Exactly.
Because you want them to come back a second time.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And a third and a fourth. All right, so that's cool. Here's what I'd like to do. We're going to stop right there. When we come back on the other side of the break, we're going to talk about how to effectively start your new program and be successful at it. That's important, I think. And we're going to learn more about the change of withholding in Jeff's life before we're done with him. Because I told him earlier today, you better have his significant other listening, because we're going to let it out, right?
Exactly.
That's if the world doesn't know yet. You're listening to Vegas Unwrapped. Mr. Bobcat, take us to break. This is a very slow entry. This is... Until you get into this song, you could pass out, for crying out loud. By the way, it was sort of ironic that DNR's commercial popped up in there, wasn't it, there, really? Mr. Jeff? Do you want to share the news now as long as the commercial played? Dave owes me one because it wasn't supposed to play, but it's ironic that it did.
There was some subliminal advertising there.
That's right. Jeff can give a testimonial for DNR House of Diamonds because he announced some big news today at our networking meeting that we networked together at. You want to share with the world? Come on. We're only on the internet. I mean, Is there anybody there that doesn't know the news?
There's only 5,000 listeners, so...
No, everyone knows the news already.
Okay.
As of Tuesday this week, I am now engaged.
He's engaged! Yay! Another one bites the dust, and another one's gone. Anyway, no, congratulations, and we're happy for you. That's good stuff. Just Just know that from this point forward, you will be running for the rest of your life on a whole nother level. Let me just tell you that. So, no, I'm only kidding. I'm married 26 years, and I'm still running. Anyway, how to effectively start a new fitness program. You're listening to Jeff Carstensen, multi-moving fitness owner, triathlon extraordinaire, trainer. However, he can also work. It doesn't have to be just for a triathlon. If you want to get into shape, feel better about yourself, Jeff can work with anybody on any level to help you feel better and accomplish what you want to with your health. So
there you go. We're in.
We're in.
Any
Absolutely.
level.
Any level. Is there anything less than a novice? What would be below a novice? Because it's beginner and then novice, right?
Tenderfoot.
Tenderfoot. What, are we back in the Boy Scouts?
No, you know what the bottom of the ranks is?
What's that?
Ricky Cash.
No! Oh, Cash, just remember who threw you under the bus on that one.
I got you back on that one, buddy.
Oh, my goodness gracious. It's fun, though. It's fun, though, to make fun of somebody who's 2,500 miles away.
Yeah.
All right, so we start this program, okay? But how do you effectively start a program so that somebody stays motivated, interested, and they want to keep going?
The best way to do it is using a goal that's realistic. So, of course, like we've been talking, you're not going to be doing the triathlon tomorrow.
Right.
But give me 4 to 6 months, I'll get you there.
Really? You think you could? Seriously, somebody like me? No, seriously. Somebody like me who used to play football but who's about 110 pounds overweight, you think in a time frame of 4 to 6 months, if I was religious 3 times a week to meet you, you'd actually get me ready for a triathlon?
Exactly, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm impressed by that. Seriously. I mean, to me, that seems like a very short window, relatively speaking, considering how out of shape I am, that you can get someone to do. Now, of course, there's nutrition involved, I would think, too. It's not just working out.
Yeah, they always say you can't out-train a poor diet, and that's exactly, or the other cliche is six-pack abs are made in the kitchen, but.
What about a keg? What do you do for a keg? Where's that one fall in?
How about a truckload?
But yeah, with about 4 to 6 months from couch to being active again, it's just, and I mean, when we say triathlon, we're talking, there's a whole different level. Right. I mean, the typical sprint triathlon is about a 500-yard swim, about a 10 to 12 mile bike, and then a 3 mile to 4 mile run. So right around that 5K mark. So I mean, yeah, it's very doable. I've seen people start out that were the 100 pounds, and now they're down 150 somewhere. I know one person's lost 180 pounds since they started the sport.
Wow, and over what period of time?
Over about just a couple of years, actually.
Wow.
So
that's huge. John, did you have a question?
Yes. In your training sessions or when you're working with people, you not only work with them physically, but do you also help them with their diet or coaching them in what they should be eating, how they should be eating, or?
Yes and no. I mean, I'm nowhere near the dietitian or nutritionist on the level of knowledge there, but I have great partnerships with some. So of course, if there's something where I have to farm out and say, hey, you need to really see a dietitian or a nutritionist. Right. I've got great networks I can send those people to. So we definitely do work on that, especially doing an endurance event. You need to find out what you can use while you're on the bike and running so you have the energy to last throughout the day.
Cool.
Makes sense.
Yeah. I learned that lesson the hard way. When I started working out last year, my diet was not where it should be, and I was working out with a trainer once a week. After like 6 or 8 sessions, I told her I had to stop because I felt like I was wasting my time working out, and my nutrition plan was not in place. Not that it's in place now, but you're right. You can't, what did you say, out-train a bad diet?
Exactly.
I think that's a great statement. I mean, I think that's a great thing to think about. So what else goes into planning?
The biggest thing is it's always making it measurable. So just having the goals within the goals. Okay. So about every 4 weeks that I'm working with someone, we'll go into our test sessions, and that's just once we get the baseline, we'll go about every month, and you get an easy week that week because we do 3 weeks of build and 1 week of recovery in a typical month, and that's just so you're not totally being broke down week after week.
To find the difference in the workout, because to me, recovery would be sitting by the pool. So explain to me what you mean in terms of the type of workout differential.
I mean, it's definitely less hours in the week.
Okay.
And it's at a slower speed or slower tempo. So so it might just be more of a leisure ride where we're not going 15 to 60 miles per hour on the bike. We might be going 10 to 12. Just
Wait. Did you say 50 to 60 miles an hour on a bicycle?
15 to 16. There we go.
Okay.
Have the VA check your hearing next time you're there, too. will you?
Yeah. Something wrong with my headphones here, man. Wow.
Some fresh Q-tips.
I was going to say, I want to see this guy ride a bike.
Now, I would also presume that getting started on a good program includes obviously working with the trainer, because the trainer knows how to do the exercises and will prevent many injuries. Is that a fair statement?
Oh, absolutely. That's the most the biggest thing in working with the trainer is we with all my certifications, there's always that essence of proper design and proper technique. I've actually studied, and I'm getting ready to go to another conference next month that is all just 3 days of pure technique study, the latest in exercise design to nutrition to the newest toys in the fitness industry that we all love using.
Okay. So obviously the more prepared and certified you are, the better off your client is.
Exactly,
Okay.
yes.
Before I forget, let's give some contact information, websites, phone numbers, emails, best ways if people have questions, or more importantly, if they want to get more information about signing up and working with you.
Okay, well, my website is Movin Fitness, so it's just Movin without the G. It's Movin fitness.com, and we're on Facebook as well. Facebook is facebook.com/Movin Fitness. You can call me at 702-625-2981, and
Very cool. And you want to give out any rates approximately, or does that vary based on program?
it varies based on program and based on kind of goals.
And it's a per hour cost or per month, or how does that work?
I do per month.
Okay.
I find it easier that way. You have that accountability because you can't.
You're
dodge
prepaying for that month.
Yeah, you can't dodge me once you pay for at the first.
No, but if they
month.
dodge you, that's extra exercise, isn't it? Right? I mean, they're moving. Good. So, any last closing comments that you want to share?
No, I mean, like I said, anyone can get into triathlon, and it's definitely a great sport to do. I've seen, as young as 6 years old, all the way up to 82 years old, I think is.
Whoa.
Let's hope for cash yet.
Yeah, I was just going to say that.
After his knee surgeries, maybe, but that's great. Listen, I mean, I've heard you speak, obviously, over the months that we've known each other by going to one of our networking groups, BCN, and very impressed with the concept of focusing on triathlon, but I love the fact that you also make it clear that it's not just about training for triathlon, it's all about good health, good fitness. So no matter what level somebody's on, you want to be there to help them.
Exactly.
All right, give a phone number and your website again before we go.
702-625-2981 and Movin fitness.com.
That, ladies and gentlemen, is the owner, Jeff Carstensen, here on Vegas Unwrapped. Jeff, thank you so much for coming in and sharing your wisdom and your thoughts. And we'll get you to YouTube. You'll be up on YouTube with us and our website and everything. And we're going to share the good news about Jeff and Movin Fitness. So,
and about getting engaged.
And about getting engaged, yes. And thank you for not challenging me, by the way, no matter what Holly said during the break. So, all right, you're listening to Vegas Unwrapped. When we come back, I think we got Doing It with Styles, right?
You got it, my friends. You're listening to Vegas Unwrapped. Aaron Phillips, Ricky Cash, yours truly, the Bobcat JPEG. And when we come back, it's time to Doing It with Styles, and we'll do it coming up right after this.